Goliath is a Vekoma Giant Boomerang roller coaster located at Six Flags New England in Agawam, Massachusetts. Today I will be talking about why this is one of the most underrated coasters I've ever ridden. So Goliath gets a lot of hate from a lot of people. Some people call this one of the worst coasters in the USA. However, I highly disagree. Goliath is an awesome coaster. It may not be the smoothest coaster in the world, but it's actually a really good ride. This is by far one of the most intense coasters I've ever ridden. It pulls some really good forces, and it's just really good. That vertical loop is so intense, and it just feels like it tries to rip your feet off. It is awesome. The first drop is absolutely nuts as you're like being holed up there for a little bit, and then you just catapult right down. It's a really good drop, and it's actually one of my favorite drops I've experienced because it's insane. The backwards portion is not that good. Like that cobra roll when you're going backwards is not that good. But when you're going forwards through that cobra roll, it's fine. My biggest issue with Goliath is actually the restraints. Those restraints suck. They literally crush down on your knees. They're worse than Skyrush's restraints, which crush down on your thighs as well. But that's only on the wing seats. The middle seats on Skyrush are fine, but the wing seats are not that good. Goliath, really in any row, will crush your thighs. But I still don't think Goliath is a bad ride. This coaster does make my top 40, but doesn't make my top 35. Goliath is an awesome coaster, and it's just really good. It's underrated by many people. I just don't see why it gets the hate. I know it's rough, and I know it's a little bit jerky, but I really don't see why it's that bad. I really enjoyed this ride because I love intense coasters, and this ride is definitely very intense. And it's by far one of the most intense coasters I've ridden. It's just an insane experience, and it is one of my favorite Vekoma coasters. It's not my favorite Vekoma coaster. My favorite Vekoma coaster is Stinger, which is now defunct. And my second favorite Vekoma is Nighthawk at Carowinds, but this is my third favorite Vekoma coaster I've ridden. So now, let's take a ride on Goliath. So first, you climb up to a top height of 191 feet. The drop is 177 feet, but the ride height is actually 191 feet. Goliath reaches a top speed of 65 miles per hour at the bottom of the drop. Then you go through this awesome cobra roll. It's not that good when you're going backwards, but it's awesome when you're going forwards. You now go through this absolutely insane vertical loop, which feels like it tries to rip your feet off. You then go up the second spike, and then you do a backwards drop after you reach the top of this. And the backwards drop is absolutely insane too. The vertical loop backwards literally is so intense. The cobra roll going backwards is really rough, but it's really the only rough part of the ride in my opinion. It's nothing too bad, but it's still not the greatest thing in the world. It's pretty rough and ends off the ride. And for Goliath's final score, I'm going to give it an 8.6. Goliath is an extremely underrated ride. It's very intense. The inversions are insane. The drops are great. It's not in my top 35 as I said, but it's in my top 40 because it's just actually a really good ride, and I really feel like it doesn't deserve the hate it gets. I know the restraints are bad, but they're not as bad as some other restraints I've experienced. So yeah, that is my review on Goliath at Six Flags New England. Make sure to like this video, also subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Keep coasting on my coaster demons. Peace.